Cool. Now I'm recording on computer. That one, what is that one? Zoom. That's what it's called. Let's do that. Hello everyone, welcome to the Daily Cup of Genre here on the Genreverse Podcast Network and YouTube channel. Brought to you, well, not brought to you, but powered by LRMonline.com. Go there every day for all entertainment news, needs, and opinions, because those are, rare to find opinions. No one's got opinions but us. We are the sole proprietor of entertainment opinions. So you got to check us out. Like, share, subscribe on all of the social media, the channels, podcast apps, YouTube itself. And I'm Kyle. That's Manny, and we are here to talk. What's up, Manny?
Nothing much. Just settling in.
Man, I tell you what, Monday is usually our box office day, but after our discussion on Monday, I was doing some research into some numbers, and something that a lot of people used to talk about, things like inflation adjustments, things like ticket sales versus raw, like money made. And it's been a while since I had looked into any of that myself, and I finally did. And holy crap, man, is the movie theater situation worse than I really realized. For everyone watching or not watching, just listening, I've got on screen a chart from the numbers.com, and it shows the path of ticket sales versus box office returns, money made, and then it's got an additional chart listing year by year box office tickets sold, and then box office adjusted for inflation. Looking at all of this, we are in such an awful position and have mostly gone down except for a few years, which seem to coincide with Avengers movies. Almost every year since 2007, when adjusted for inflation, has seen a drop. As a correction, 2009 was the highest. 2002 was the highest adjusted it for inflation that we've had in the last 20 years at $14.4 billion domestic. Okay. Now this year we're sitting at 7.7 billion. And in 2019, the year before the pandemic, we had a whole, and this is of course slightly adjusted for inflation, but 11.2 million. The raw numbers that year were also 11.2, but 0.255 versus 0.267. Basically, what this is showing, and as you guys can see on the regular chart, the line chart that they have as well, despite profits mostly going, or not profits, but raw money being made going up, ticket sales have almost consistently gone down, except for a few certain years when certain movies, Avengers, literally 2012 saw a bump, 2009's Avatar saw a big bump, 2015's and Age of Ultron saw a bump, and 2018's Infinity War saw a bump. 2019 actually underperformed 2018 despite Endgame. It's bad, guys. Like, literally the last time we had raw numbers below 10 billion domestic was 2008, where we made 997. What do you think about all that, Manny? You're muted, bud.
It really just coincides with kind of what we're seeing on how movies are being treated now. And I think that if it's not some big event like Spider-Man or Avengers, we're not really seeing people going to the theaters. I don't know exactly what is it about. Honestly, I just think it's the economy, really. I think things are getting more expensive, and you gotta cut something.
Yeah, I mean, they even have on the chart, they put on like ticket prices, and you look back 20 years ago, 581 average. This year, 2022, 917 average.
So
So yeah,
so if it's a family of four, for example, that's out the door almost 40. That's about
50,
40,
yeah.
40, 50 bucks. And then that's not counting that you got to drive there, you got to you're probably going to have dinner, you're going to try to get snacks there, which will double usually your cost if you try to eat there, because we know that movie theaters make most of their money off of their concessions.
The theaters do, absolutely.
Because it's not the movies themselves. So it's a really, really ugly trend, but I mean, I get it. That's not, movies are not vital to your well-being and to your life.
I mean, yeah, I get that. The cost of going to the theaters absolutely is an issue, but this problem, I mean, from 95, looking at the line graph, because the numbers that they have they all go to 95. So going back as far as 95 to, what are we looking at, 2002, you see a steady increase. And then it's in 2002, which, what was that? That was Attack of the Clones year. Star Wars Attack of the Clones. So in 2002, after that, you notice this drop in the tickets sold. And like I said, you got your ups for Avatar, Avengers movies, not even 2015 had a let's see, 2015 actually went up, and that was what's the word, Force Awakens. So like literally,
yeah, that had an Avengers movie, a Jurassic World movie, which we know did very, very
2016 well. Is what I meant. 2016 okay. was no, 15. No, when did Force Awakens come out?
Yeah, shit. It's the same year. It's the same year as Jurassic World.
Oh, okay, all right. So yeah, that was a big year. And regardless of what's like, regardless of what's going on in people's personal lives, and I don't mean that in a bad way, we're just talking numbers here. This goes right back to our discussion on Warner Brothers Discovery and the weekend box office. The fact that $20 million was the number one movie, and it was an anime film, a Dragon Ball Super film. And again, I'm not mad at anyone not spending money that they can't spend, but this goes back to the point of, it takes money to make content, and you get lower quality content when you have less money to work with. And when you consider that, despite there not being a lot of operating costs in 2020, 2021, you still had a lot of people still working, relative operating costs. You still have a lot of people on salary. You have a lot of contracts. You have a lot of guaranteed money that you still have to expend, and you have this, well, now going on a 3-year drop almost, of not making what you're normally used to making. It's all connected, and while I disagree with how Warner Brothers Discovery is pushing forward, just gutting everything, and their stock took a big hit, despite them doing that so aggressively and having shitty messaging, business wise, I get it. Like, I understand trimming the fat right now. It sucks, but holy dude, I did not realize it was that bad.
Well, the other thing also is it does not help box office that throughout these years, also streaming has gained a little bit more traction every year.
Consumers have changed their consumption method.
Yeah. So the biggest problem, especially this year, for example, is taking things off of a box office slate and putting it straight to streaming. Prey, for example, it may not have been just such a big giant hit, but it would have made a significant difference. Mm-hmm. But if you add that film and kind of start putting them together with some of the other films that are going straight to streaming. For example, in the winter, the Knives Out sequel is going straight to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
No theater release.
It'll get the limited for awards season, but that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that you're not getting some of these films now that you should be getting in theaters to kind of bump up some of those numbers to kind of help out, because we got all our blockbusters out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Batman did what it's supposed to do. Doctor Strange, Top Gun, Jurassic World, they did their part. They took the summer box office and really just played their role. But some of these smaller movies, they're just not even their value, as far as the way the studios see them, is to bump up their streaming numbers. They don't care about theaters. They want to make sure that Disney Plus is doing well, or Hulu, or Netflix, to be able to boast that, hey, look at us, our streaming service did so well this weekend because of this movie.
Yeah.
And really, whatever's hurting box office numbers, theaters in general, that's not their problem.
The big, like, I don't know, caveat to that, sure, you can brag about your subscription numbers all you want. Hey, we got, when this movie premiered, we had a boost of X million subscribers. Well, how many of them stuck around until the following month once their subscription once they canceled, if that's all they stayed on for? And then also I'll remind everyone once again, if you got a family of 4 and you all go see a movie, like Manny pointed out earlier, you're paying $40-$50. And I know not all of it goes to the studio, but still, just trying to keep numbers simple for right now. $40-$50, right? Now that same family of 4 watches a movie on their $15 subscription service. It's unsustainable. Like, oh my God, guys, like I understand from the consumer's point of view, and I'm a consumer. I too would love for money to grow on trees and content to be spontaneously burst into existence, but that's not the way it works. It's not the way it happens. And me being a selfish son of a bitch that wants to be entertained, I want to laugh, I want to be afraid, I want to occasionally cry. No, I want to be entertained. And in order to do that, I have to pay someone to entertain me. And at a certain level of quality and quantity, it costs more money. And when you have the ability to do that, you should. And again, in before all they could take pay cuts. That's not gonna happen. They're just gonna cut content. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're doing it right now, guys. They're cutting content, and I'm promising you, you might see 1 or 2 little projects that people are upset about at HBO Max Discovery. You might see 1 or 2 of them get saved on HBO Max, just to say, hey, look, we're listening, we care for you guys. But most of the projects that are being shopped around will either go to a different platform or never see the light of day. That's just the way it is, and they will continue to reduce quality and quantity. And I guess much like gaming, a lot of you will just eat it up, but I can't. It's distressing, man. It really is.
Well, I mean, you see it also just around the world with the way Netflix is struggling now, the way that really Disney Plus is kind of scrambling to make it look like they're doing so well by merging their numbers with 2 other streaming services, Hulu and ESPN Plus, to make it look like, yeah, look how successful you are. It's like, no, you're combining 3 different streaming services in one. I
Several
mean,
people have all three separate. Like
yeah,
I've got separate Hulu and separate
yeah.
Disney Plus.
Warner Media, of course, had to sell because it was unsustainable for them to continue to doing what they were doing, and now it's Discovery's problem to figure out how to, like we're talking about, trim the fat and find some money. And then if you look at theaters, they're struggling as well. I mean, Regal's parent company, Cinema World, just is filing for bankruptcy because they're just and it wasn't even the summer movies that necessarily did them is going to put them under. It's the fact that there's nothing really interesting left. There's Black Adam, there's Black Panther.
That's it for this year.
And
and Shazam, Fury of the
yeah,
Gods.
but
Yep.
they don't feel like there's going to be enough people going to theaters based on what they forecasted to say that they're going to be successful. So and hang on till the end of the year. So it's yeah, I mean, that's what's happening, and it's funny because I feel like the industry is being held on by like duct tape right now.
That's a good way to put it. Did you see the Matt Damon Hot Ones video going around?
No, I have not seen that yet.
Okay, so Matt Damon discussed, and I'm writing this down. Give me a second. Matt Damon was on Hot Ones and discussed why they don't make movies the way that they used to, and and he's talking about how everything's a big franchise, everything's a big sequel, everything's that we'll call relative easy money, right? Relatively easy money. Put a Marvel logo, put a Star Wars logo, put some nostalgic 90s 80s logo on it, and people will eat it up. Look at Top Gun, Spider-Man No Way Home, and so on. And then he goes, you used to have movies that would hit theaters, not do great, but do well, or even flop. But they would the studios had an opportunity to earn more money on home video sales and rentals. And he goes, you get a second influx, people that didn't want to go to the theaters, people that don't like the crowds and stuff like that, people with super busy lives, what have you, would then buy the movie on Blu-ray, DVD, VHS. Going further and further back, and that would give studios a second opportunity to recoup costs, and it also gives talent and creators, filmmakers, a second shot at money too, when you consider residuals and stuff like that, and points on home video sales. Streaming has destroyed that. Because again, guys, 4 people $50 at a theater, 4 people $15 on a subscription, and we all know the issues with like password sharing and things like that. And there's usually a lot more than just, even in a general family of 4, there'll usually be a lot more people using that account than just those 4. Where does the money come from then? And when you consider big companies like Disney, they're pulling all of their money together. It's not like the money that's made on Disney Plus only goes into Disney Plus investments. No, it goes into the giant pot. It's just like politics. Whenever someone's like, "Oh, your tax dollars aren't being spent on XYZ," well, guys, it all goes into the treasury and it's all appropriated out. So yeah, your actual $1 might go to something you don't like. It's the same with these giant corporations. Same with gaming. I talk about gaming all the time. Having to gaming subscription services having to share this big pool of money, and you depend on the big titles to float the lower stuff, like a inverted pyramid scheme, if you will, where the biggest money makers are at the very top, are the smallest number, and they've got to support the weight of everything else, and it's unsustainable. And Matt Damon is 100% right on it. And also, I miss physical media. I miss good extras. I miss like 3 to 5 minute of outtakes. I miss documentaries, and I'm glad Disney Plus is offering a lot of that when they do things on streaming. But I still like the idea of owning something. So if Disney decides to take something down or they implode, I still have a legal copy of The Mandalorian. I would love that. Matt Damon's on point, man. What do you think about his comments on like that home video sales?
I think they're super important, and the fact that you can't get like The Mandalorian on physical media is, I think, is a very much
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, because what happens when you don't, like, a day or two, maybe a week, we don't have internet? Or
Yeah,
what if for whatever reason Disney Plus goes under? I know that that's an extreme situation,
but
but
it's possible.
yeah, I mean, and it's just another. And the thing is, offering it on physical media isn't going to hurt your streaming service, because you're going to want to keep it for the new content. Nobody's really going back and rewatching the first season of The Mandalorian over and over again.
Kids, babe. My son watched the Luke Skywalker episode in season 2 a lot.
And then sometimes it's not, and sometimes, like, physical media, it's funny. The funny thing about it is that it's not even about using it. Sometimes you just want it for your collection, like,
yeah, dude, collectors, like that stuff's going away.
So it's I think it's really important. I think that it's something that they're missing the boat on, and I know it's because they're so invested in their streaming service, and they're so some of these things that were HBO Max exclusives that will be never seen again. This is one of those moments where it's like, why wasn't there physical media? Because if you had a chance to buy it, for example, it's not the greatest movies or the greatest example, but Witches, the Roald Dahl live action adaptation,
the recent one with Anne Hathaway.
Yeah. Never gonna be seen again.
Nope.
So, but if there's a group of people who maybe were a fan of it, it's too bad. But if it was offered on physical media, you can at least buy it and have it for whenever it is maybe you want to watch it, or you just want to have it there on your shelf along with the rest of the films that you have. So
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a real shame, and it's very disappointing, because it is another source of revenue that they're missing out on, and it's just part of a bigger problem that is right now content, I guess, to try to cover it all, because it's going to streaming because we want to promote our streaming service. It's not necessarily about anything else other than that.
I think the idea in theory, as everyone was looking at Netflix, and it really goes back to another point we made last week when you were complaining about Disney allegedly spinning their numbers. No, that was straight up. They were saying, hey, look, if you combine all of our stuff, even though some subscribers are being counted 3 times, then we've got X amount of subs. If that's not spin, I don't know what is, allegedly. Even I think everyone was looking at Netflix and how Netflix spun their numbers and hid how much time they spent in the red, and people were like, oh, if we have a steady stream of $10 a month from 100 million people, yay, right? And it won't hurt movies. People will still go to movie. I don't think they foresaw the shift in consumption the way it happened, and then when the pandemic hit,
was a big,
it just solidified it.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can
sped it up.
Yeah, you can look at the chart 100% and see as streaming grows, as movies come out faster, because like I said, you and I talked about in the early 2000s, 6 to 8 months sometimes for something from first day in theater to home video release, and then by the time you get to 2016, 2017, you're 4 to 6 months, and then by the time you get right before the pandemic, 3 to 4 months from theater to freaking home video, right? That you can see how consumers became, one, willing to wait two, willing to wait because of money, or three, again, just willing to wait. I mean, in all honesty, a lot of it comes down to not having that fear of missing out on a movie, because it's not going to take it that long to hit digital, to hit home video, and now of course streaming. And man, God,
yeah,
it is. It's scary, and the whole physical media thing, guys. I cannot express enough how fickle internet is, how fickle contracts for content can be. And look at what happened with the PlayStation Store's movies and shows. There are people that spent money and they no longer have the access to things that they spent money on. And I'm not talking streaming. I'm talking they purchased a digital movie on a platform that, let's all admit, does anyone think Sony PlayStation's gonna pull a Sega anytime soon? No, but sure as hell their movie and shows offerings kind of did. Like, you're SOL, but if you own the disc in your house, in your apartment, in your tent, I don't care if you own it, you at least still have it and you can watch it later on, and that is such a big deal for me.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is it's just bad for, and it doesn't, and I wonder just how it's going to play out in the next year, for example, when we're even further away from excuses that could affect the films. But I mean, this is something that is going to take a couple years to recover from, because you're going to be releasing still movies that were made under the pandemic still, because I mean, these things take a long time to develop and to produce and to release, and so I think what I'm most curious about is at the beginning of the year how theaters react. I think that's going to be a big sign. So like, is Regal going to get rid of things like their unlimited pass, which I hope not, because I use that like no other. And if just I don't know, it's just really because I like to watch movies in theaters. It makes me upset when I see that like I didn't get an opportunity to see Prey in theaters. And things like that. And then also even dual releases, I don't, makes me uncomfortable, because Orphan First Kill, for example, which was whatever, but still it came, go to the theater or watch it at home. Yeah.
Same with the Halloween sequels, the last two Halloween movies hitting both. Like, so many people, like we've already pointed out, tickets are willing to wait, more comfortable at home. Pandemic settled that in, but the data's right there, guys. I showed the chart. I already closed that window out, so go back a few seconds if you need to, or go to the numbers.com and look at the theater market page.
Yeah, and
it's there. People are willing to wait, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not, I feel like it's not even just willing to wait, but like, for example, this summer, it was just, spring and summer was just terrible as far as here in California. Just speaking for California in itself, gas prices are so high.
Oh yeah.
And just groceries are again getting ridiculously expensive as well, because it all has a trickle effect.
Yeah.
That if you're gonna cut something out, you're not cutting out groceries. You're not cutting out gas. You're cutting out going out. And one of those things is obviously going out to the theater. And so it's there's a bigger picture too, but the fact that then now you have access to a streaming service that is going to give you the same thing for a quarter of the cost, if not an eighth of the cost, or I don't know, however you want to put it.
Depends on your household size.
Yeah. It's you're going to make that easy decision. It's a very easy decision.
Yeah.
So we're not telling people to spend money they don't have, but we are saying that studios are making choices, and were making choices before the pandemic. It just happened to be that event sped everything up,
solidified in some ways the new method of consumption. Not just sped up the transition, because I mean, that was, like you said, it was happening. Solidify. I don't know if because I posited this a while ago. I said what do studios do when I wish I could find the episode that I said this in. But when do studios take off, rip off the Band-Aid and start forcing people back to theaters, and how would that look like? Unfortunately, it looks like Warner Brothers Discovery right now. But it came true. Studios are going to try. Disney. Bob Chapek himself said, we're not gonna see every movie hitting Disney Plus 45 days later. Some might be more. Some might be less. I'm wondering how consumers are going to respond overall.
Yeah, Disney played a big part in it themselves, and kind of demise because of some of those movies that we're so used to seeing in theaters. Some of the Pixar movies and things like that, they are going straight to Disney Plus.
Now Pinocchio's a Disney Plus Day premiere. That's a freaking Tom Hanks movie, mother.
Yeah, and then you have. Yeah, I think like Raya and the Last Dragon. I don't know if that hit theaters. I don't remember. A lot of
I think it did both.
Soul was straight to Disney Plus. Turning Red was straight to Disney Plus, which should have been in theaters. That's just to name a few. And they're a big part of this giant problem that we're talking about. But I mean, so is Netflix.
Riot was both.
So it's just it's a shame. It's a real shame because these things should be. You should at least have the opportunity to enjoy them in theaters, and then you should have the opportunity later to also buy them on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever combo pack, whatever you want to do.
There's one other option, and Disney tried it. I hate to give Disney a lot of credit, but got to give them some credit for trying it. They tried the premium access to charge a good $30-$40 for a movie, which in a household of four, that makes sense. $40 for the movie. What do you think about studios doing something like that, where there is no it's coming to the streaming service 45 days for free later, but they offer at the same time as well? No, because then the piracy just becomes, and that's the biggest. And I'm wearing a Rufio shirt, which is a great punk rock band from the early 2000s, and also the name of one of the Lost Boys in Hook. But hey, piracy, it's a great freaking movie. Piracy, of course, took off majorly with streaming, because all of a sudden you could rip high definition movies right off the bat. Everything that Disney put on Disney Plus was in full, at least 1080, if not 4K, if it was offered online the same day on piracy sites, because all of the best efforts to prevent ripping doesn't work. So I don't even know if offering a premium access, hey, pay $40, you get the movie to watch for X amount of time. I don't know if that's even a viable option anymore.
No, that doesn't work. That only worked during the pandemic because there was no other choice to try to find extra revenue. If you're going to spend that much money, you might as well go to the theater. Now that's the best option. So no, don't ever do that again unless we're all locked into our houses. And oh my god,
that was a thought a long time ago. People were wondering, could you ever release a theatrical movie at home simultaneously, but at a premium cost, if you will, for the convenience? Would that be sustainable? And like I said, from a piracy thing alone, I don't think so. Don't break the law, ladies and gentlemen.
People are gonna break the law
allegedly.
Anyway. Just don't get caught.
Allegedly, don't get caught. Anyways, man, the guys over at Breaking Geek Radio are working today instead of Thursday due to scheduling. So we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. It was a fun conversation. Manny and I are both very, very passionate about entertainment, and we would love to see more content cost less, and everyone be able to enjoy it. I want theaters to still be enjoyed by everyone, but I I got a feeling that premium theater experiences are going to be used to bridge some of that money gap, and it's going to be priced out of most people's range, and that's unfortunate because theaters are a group event. They're a crowd event, and I really don't want the crowds to shrink all
Yeah,
that
man.
much.
I just went on Monday night with a group of friends to go watch Dragon Ball Z. It wasn't necessarily about 100% about the movie. It was about that kind of experience of doing it all together. I will say that I hate one thing. I just very quickly. I know we're wrapping up, but I just want to point this out. I hate it when animes make films and then change animation styles or combine animation styles with
the
CG.
CGI
It's like, well,
is rough in that movie from the trailer.
It is so annoying. Anyway, that's
I don't know what Toriyama was thinking when he greenlit that. But anyways, guys, check out lrmonline.com for all sorts of entertainment news, reporting, opinions, reviews, celebrity interviews, as well as all of the podcast content. Podcasts like Anime Versal Reviews, Breaking Geek, The Cantina, Marvel Multiverse Mayhem go up on all of the popular podcast apps like Google and Spotify. We're on Sounder now, distributing via them. Again, if you listen to us on SoundCloud, the 26th of August will be the last day. New shows will be going up on SoundCloud. So hop on another app, follow us, go genreverse.sounder.fm, follow us there. And of course, all of the podcasts are in video format on the Genreverse YouTube channel. Thanks to all 409 subscribers so far, onward and upward to 500. We also have Genre Shot trailer reactions and the AVR squared anime reactions. So check all of that out. Man, anything else left to say?
Nope. I think we're all right for today.
All right, guys. We should hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.